It is an astounding fact that Islam, Judaism, and Christianity all agree on Abraham and the early part of the story to an extent, but they take very different roads from this point. Christianity believes that a literal Son of God was sent down and tortured to death for an original sin. Islam believes that an angel spoke to a man in a cave, who then enslaved women and conquered huge swathes of the desert, and whose followers spread this war from the Indus Valley to the mountains of Morocco. But Judaism takes a very different viewpoint from suffering or conquest. It states that the creator of this world lit a tiny candle atop a mountain that was essentially the people of Israel, stepped back, gave them a land, and is waiting for us to notice. And I want to put forward that this is the most likely outcome. This is the most likely road. For as we see Israel today struggling, we see miracle after miracle. When Iran sends hundreds of drones and not one Jew is harmed, is that not a miracle? When 6.5 million Jews are killed in the Shoah by Nazis in ovens, and then 3 years later there is a Jewish state for the first time in nearly 2,000 years, as if to fulfill the prophecies of Ezekiel, is this not a miracle? When Israel is then pitched into battle against 7 nations at once, and emerges victorious, and wins war after war, often outnumbered and outflanked, is this not a miracle? And when Iran shoots hundreds of ballistic missiles at Israel, a country which is dense in buildings, and there are no mass casualties, and then most of these missiles fly into fields and barren lots, is that not a miracle? And when Jews are forced out of Spain, in which they created a renaissance, only to then seed a new civilization near enough in Eastern Europe, which allows some of the greatest kings in Eastern Europe to flourish, and created in itself a new civilization fusing with Yiddish, is that not a miracle? And that the prophets would say that the exiles will be brought from the 4 winds of the earth, and that today we have what are essentially exiles, olim, returnees, coming from the 4 winds of the earth. Is that not a miracle? Then what is this candle that was lit upon the mountain? What is its reason? Well, a candle is a light, but if it's created by our Creator, no matter the darkness that encroaches in upon it, we see that it stands. Brave, even if flickering, it's there. But more so, it's there as a guiding light to the world, to teach us what our Creator wanted, what our Creator valued, and that is free will. Not throwing us into the pits of hell and damnation, or such concepts as original sin, but love. And does not the existence of Israel now, and the returning of exiles from the 4 corners of the earth, does that not prove it true? After so many miracles, what more do we need to see? But what does this mean for people who are not Jews? Well, there are the 7 Noahide laws, simple things. Do not eat the flesh of a living animal. Do not steal. Do not commit adultery. Simple things. It is only through the covenant that more tasks are needed, which is what Jews have undertaken. It is the example of a world in which our Creator steps back and lets miracles be enacted through the natural world to seem as if it was just an ordinary event. But when stacked upon each other over the centuries, and Jews are returning to Israel, this is no mere natural event. It is as plain as day. But the candle, that tiny fire atop the mountain, this is the difference that stands out from all the other religions of the world. Who can claim such continuance and such persistence of miracles? There's nothing to be ashamed or guilty of. There's no war to be forced upon anyone else. All we have is a guiding light, a simple, tiny candle at the center of the earth, where all the oceans and lands are at their deepest, and even the earth dives down its deepest into the Dead Sea. Israel itself, its shape, is the collision of continents, a rugged mountain spine, a warm flat coast, a desert stretching south and west. It is miraculous that this tiny land, the size of New Jersey some say, is the focus of such attention around the world. And even marvelous still, that as Jews are not allowed to build a temple upon the mount, they come and cry before a broken wall. Such is their love for this, and that love has overcome the furnaces of Auschwitz, Crusader knights, Persian killers, all kinds of horrors over the centuries, because light, rather than guilt in the Messiah of Christianity, or war in the Prophet of Islam, even in its small size there is a strength in it. And so what if Jews are right? Well, we risk blowing out that candle, the only tiny flicker that our Creator has given us. What if it is a test? What if it's a measurement of the rest of humanity? Will we extinguish our Creator's only candle? Or will we allow this candle to brighten this world from its center? And what happens to us if we are foolish enough to extinguish the Jewish people? I fear that. And so I'm building this channel. I will create podcasts now and then, or rather podcast form, defending Zionism, promoting Zionism, doing what I can for Israel. And I hope you will join me. I'm just a man in a suit. My name is Benjamin. Thank you for joining. And please do whatever you can for Israel.